Now, can we calm down with some Power Region football? Well, let's find out. Now, this one is called the SAKIN KUVVET, and I apologize for that pronunciation, but it is in Turkish, meaning calm force. There is a description on this basically saying, forget football. The calm force 235 tactic is revolutionizing the pitch. Arda Güler's brainpower, Yamal's display of speed, and Konate's finishing prowess deliver fluid play, gegenpressing, and modern attacking football. There is definitely some more to it, basically saying a unique system for FM24 players and those seeking real-life tactics. There is a video, so definitely check it out. However, the team that they produced with this, or they got to play with this, is Konate up front, Yamal on the left, Rooney Bargi on the right. They've got a bunch of players, so yeah. Interesting team. And what's even more interesting is the page I got this from doesn't have any actual tests. There's no listed test with this. There's no how they did or anything like this. It's just, the description of it and basically saying it's a dynamic 2-3-5 formation, high press and gegenpress. So we're going to actually check it out with our three teams of Liverpool and Aston Villa in the Premier League and our championship side of Ipswich Town. So with all that said, let's just forego everything else and dive into the Premier League to see how they did. Well, Aston Villa, 73 points is kind of a smidge below average, I would say, which is usually about 77. Liverpool, though, with only 67 points is interesting. So today we're starting out with Aston Villa since they're on top in the table. Now, they did get to the Carabao Cup final, beating Man City 1-0. They do get to the FA Cup semi-finals, but lose out to Liverpool 1-3. Conference League only unfortunately getting to the quarterfinals, losing out both times to Eintracht Frankfurt 1-2. So overall, winners of the Carabao Cup is fantastic. Semifinals of the FA Cup is pretty nice. Quarterfinals of the Conference League is okay, but fifth place is about average in the Premier League. They do get a nice sea of green, though. That's a little bit more than usual. 23 goals for Ollie Watkins, 20 for Zaniolo, assist 14 for John McGinn, 13 for Zaniolo, an average rating John McGinn with a 7.25. But now switching over to Liverpool's team, you can see Carabao Cup quarterfinals is where they lose out to Man City in penalties. They get through Ipswich in the FA Cup 5th round 3-0, getting past Aston Villa, which we saw, to the final, but losing out to Man City 0-1. However, they do get to the Europa League final against Copenhagen and win 1-0. So that Europa League is really their only shining moment of the season. Runners up the FA Cup, not bad, but everything else, you just want to pick it up. Squad-wise, definitely lower than usual in the green, but 32 goals for Nunez, Salah with 20, assists Salah with 15, 13 for Szoboszlai, and average rating Nunez with a 7.25. Data hub for our two teams, definitely about average, maybe a smidge higher than average in the defending piece for Aston Villa. Attacking-wise, very low. 1.82 goals per game, again for Aston Villa, 0.89 conceded, 1.08 XG against. Those are actually definitely lower than usual. Switching up to Liverpool, though, this time around, definitely lower on the defensive pieces, definitely lower on the attacking side. No question about it. Only 1.84 goals per game, 1.13 conceded, 1.01 XG against is definitely higher than usual. And just to take a look at Liverpool specifically and their injury list, they don't have a lot of majors. I mean, they have moderates every now and again, Szoboszlai with a couple, but yeah, injuries may have been a small issue, but not the biggest one. Premier League stats, though, Aston Villa in 5th with 1.92 points per game. Liverpool on 7th with 1.76. Very interesting. Most goals, though, Liverpool in 6th with 70, 69 for Aston Villa in 7th. Fewest shots against, Liverpool in 3rd with 277, Villa with 317. Most possession, 56% for Liverpool, 51 for Aston Villa. Most dribbles made, Villa in 3rd with 705. Most tackles won, Villa in 8th with 853. Best pass completion, 89% for Liverpool, 88 for Aston Villa. And most shots for Liverpool in 2nd with 544 and Villa with 524. Well, now, it did not work all that well in the Premier League. How'd it work in the Championship? Thankfully, they came in 2nd. I mean, 3 points off of Southampton is not much. If you took control of it yourself, as I usually say, do your own shouts, training, transfers, things like that, you could probably get those 3 points back and pip them to 1st place. But still, would have liked to seen better. Only 81 goals for. Interesting. Domestic Cups for Ipswich, out in the Carabao Cup 3rd round, 1-2 to Arsenal, and out in the FA Cup 5th round, 0-3 to Liverpool, as we saw. Overall, definitely a championship season. Everything else kind of on the standard mark. And only 5 in the green. I mean, I guess that's kind of on par, but still, you'd like to see more. Goals, 13 apiece for Connor Chaplin and Wes Burns. Assists, 18 for Leif Davis. Wow, 8 for Jack Taylor. An average rating, of course, Leif Davis with a 7.25. Championship stats, 2.04 points per game in second place for Ipswich. Most goals in tied for fourth with 81. Fewest shots against in third with 364. Most possession with 53%. Most dribbles made in fifth with 781. Best pass completion with 88%. And most shots for in fifth with 565. So let's dive into the tactic itself, and there are some very interesting pieces to this. A sweeper keeper in support is where we start, a fullback on the left in support next to a ball-playing defender in defend, next to a no-nonsense center back in cover, next to a complete wingback on the right in support, a regista in support in that DM role, a carrilero in support on the left, and a carrilero in support on the right. However, this one has marked specific position. It is the DMCL. This one, for some reason on the left, does not have that. Inside forward in attack has that marked specific position as that wingback on the right. The inverted winger in support on the right does not have that. However, the pressing forward in support does have marked specific position. It is the DL. So I don't know how that all forms up and mixes up, but there you go. A positive mentality, in possession attacking with is fairly wide, approach play is pass into space, focus play down the left and the right, play out of defense, passing directness is shorter, tempo is slightly lower, low crosses, play for set pieces and be more expressive. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute quickly, and out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a higher defensive line, trigger press more often, prevent your goalkeeper distribution, get stuck in, and step up more. But now overall, how did it do for our 3 teams, as I always ask? I mean, Ipswich faring the best out of this, getting second place, only 3 points off of first. I definitely think if you're good enough or in control enough of this tactic and your players, you can definitely get to that set 97, if not above, and beat Southampton to it. However, you're still in the automatic promotion, so I wouldn't be too unhappy. You're 6 points above Leicester. Now, here's the problem. The Premier League did not do very well at all. 73 points for Aston Villa is a little bit lower than usual, but not hugely. Liverpool with 67 points, not a lot of injuries. This did not work for Liverpool at all, I'm going to have to say. There's a lot of leeway to get to that 85 at Manchester United, but it's going to take a pretty good miracle to get to that point. Even transfers and things like that. I mean, I guess you can bring some in to fit the specific roles themselves, but overall, that's a tough ask right there, I think, personally. But that's why I review tactics and I don't create them. So if you've been able to get this to work, let us know how it worked for you and what teams you used in the comments below. But here, it was kind of a mixed bag. But that's it for me, SAKIN FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.